Hello everybody, and today we're going to be doing a replay cast of a game that I played a couple of days ago. A game I played Skywrath mage. We're just going to have a look at some of my mistakes, some of my plays, basically how I played, and then see if we can learn anything from it and maybe have a little laugh on the way. Okay, so draft wise, what are we dealing with here? We've got a Legion Commander, we've got an Invoker, we've got a Crystal Maiden, we've got a Timber Saw, and we've got a Drow sitting in there for the Radiant, the enemy team as we shall say here. Right. I'm going to leave it on all vision at the moment. This is me on the Skywrath mage. I'm going mid for this. I was expecting to go up against an Invoker or maybe a Drow, more likely the Invoker, which proved to be correct. And everyone else in the team, we've got Clockwork, which works really well with Skywrath mage, because if you can cog them in, then you can use your ultimate in combination with that one, and they cannot escape. Dazzle, very good counter to Legion Commander, because if you grave people, it basically means that they can't win. We've got Foreign Beggar here on the Viper. He looks like he's picking up a quick Wraith Band here. And he's picked up Ward as well, and we do have a Courier, yay! That fearless Badger. Far superior to the Mighty Boar. And we've got Bloodseeker as well. I think he's probably going to be jungling if memory serves. Right, so we'll have a look at mainly at what I'm doing. I'll maybe zoom around a little bit and see what else is happening in other lanes. Okay, right, the Invoker is waiting for the rune there, and he's not going to be able to get it, but our Dazzle is going to be able to pick up this haste rune as well and throw up the Observer Ward here. I think he was waiting for me to see if I wanted it, but I just said take it, so he did indeed. Okay. A Creep Block was a little bit better here. Dazzle throwing out a little bit of damage here, but it's not going to be enough maybe to burn a little bit of his regen, but that's about it. Dazzle escapes. Crystal Maiden hanging in at the side here, maybe see if they can counter-initiate a little bit here. Okay, so should put up the last hits and denies. Okay, right, so I'm just sitting on 1 at the moment, so that's fine, I've got 2. First skill point goes into Arcane Bolt, second one into excuse me, Castle Shot, and that gives you your extra damage, and that gives you your slow. So that's nice. Don't really want to be firing off too many Arcane Bolts at level 1, because that's it does waste a bit of mana. I was trying here to force him to use as much regen as possible here, so I was throwing out as much Wrath as I possibly could. You don't really need a huge amount of farm as Skywrath mage. You're really looking for more kills, especially if you can snowball early. Like for example, I just got the kill on Invoker there. He got a little bit out of position. I managed to get my level 3 and get the kill. So that puts me in a really nice spot. I get myself the very fast ball. Viper unfortunately does have the Courier. What was it he was bringing out? He was bringing out a Wraith Band recipe. Fantastic. Always good. Okay, and yes, it was Jungle Bloodseeker. He is doing his own thing. Offlane Clockwork versus offlane Drow. So see how that works, and of course Jungle Legion Commander. Jungle Legion Commander seems to be the best way to play her at the moment. Not quite sure how that'll work out after people start getting used to how to play against her, but we shall see how it works out. Okay, right, as you can see here, I'm still sitting okay. I've got my bottle on my way to me just now, and I'm probably going to be going for, I sometimes go for a Null Talisman, and most of the time I just go for either Bloodstone or Ring of Atos, something to give me a little bit more tank, because Skywrath is very squishy with 1 armor and only 640 health. If you have a look at the Invoker, he's sitting with 620, but he does have that bracer. Invoker, he's going for his Exhort build, and also with a Precision Aura, he should be able to last it a lot better than me, which he is doing to an extent, because I sat and moaned about for a bit, which is a bit of a mistake. I should have been taking full advantage of the free mid lane and getting as much as I possibly could out of it. I'm sitting a little bit ahead of him in denies, and also I've got the experience advantage. I'm sitting at level 4, he's sitting just at the start at level 4, so I've got about almost a level advantage on him, which will be good because then I'll be able to get my ultimate up quickly and be able to go for a gank. There we go, level 5, and I've got 3 points in Arcane Bolt, 1 Ancient Seal, 1 Concussive Shot. The Arcane Bolt is your main damage dealer, really. It scales with intelligence, so getting more intelligence, stuff like a Scythe of Ice, and also I like the Atos, not really as much for the slow, but more for the stats it gives me. It gives me a large amount of, a reasonable amount of intelligence, and also you get the Vitality Booster's health. So that's nice, and the slow is nice as well. You can catch people in in your flare or get a bit more slow to get someone else to get the kill or something like that. As you see, I'm just last taking away here. Invoker is... where is Invoker? Invoker is down the bottom lane trying to harass out that clockwork, but you're not going to be able to get him. He's wasted basically quite a bit of experience by doing that, so that puts him even further behind me, and I'm just about to pick up my level 6. I think I see him coming down here. Go get the jungle, so I'll ignore him for the time being. Go back a bit to get my... yep, null talisman. It was a null talisman again, sorry. I forgot. Right, a little bit of damage on the tower here, not too much. I'm not really that fussed about getting the tower down so early. I'm just looking to get gank with a rune, probably. As you can see, there's a DD rune down the bottom there, so I'm hopefully going to be able to pick that up. The wave is pushed enough. He does have his forward spirits now, so that should push it back a little bit. Taking off armor off a Skywrath mage is quite important. Throwing a little bit of a arcane bolt there just for a little bit extra damage, and I'm going to go for it, but unfortunately I don't have the mana for my ultimate here, but I think I am going to get the kill regardless. Yes, I am, and slow wings of death gets him there. It was a half decent play for me there. Yeah, I took a little bit too much damage there. That put me a little bit behind. I'm using ball charges. I was gambling no one was going to get this basically, because if not I would have had to go back to base. And I'm going to use this double damage rune. They did see me take it, so they're going to be playing a little bit more safe. Their Legion Commander wisely goes off to the side, wanting to avoid me a little bit. I did realise that there was someone there because I seen the creep wave go, so I decided to follow, and I do get lucky and I do pick him off. He didn't manage to get out quick enough, and I get the kill here as well. Here we go, and that puts me in a really, really nice position for the rest of the game. That means that I'm sitting on 3 kills at the very start. Drow is chasing me, but he's not going to be able to do much here. I'm sitting with a double damage rune, and I've got enough movement speed to get away as well, because I've got the early boots. 350, and I'm sitting on 365, so I do have a slight speed advantage there. It's time to go back to base, because Skywrath Rage is pretty much useless unless you've got a reasonable amount of mana. Let me see, for Megger, he is going for a phase boots, and he's got his Wraith Band, and he looks like he's had a fairly easy time in this lane as well. Timbersaw not doing great deal here. Working towards his arcane boots, buying the energy booster probably just in case he's going to die, and then see what happens. Right, and Crystal Maiden coming in here, maybe trying to get Dazzle, but not going to happen. But the Sunstrike is going to damage the Bloodseeker a fair bit. Not obviously the intended target being the Dazzle there. I'm moving back down to the mid lane. I think I'm probably considering what to do next. I'm going up here with the hopes of picking up a Vitality Booster or something like that. And not my Arcane Boots, my apologies. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. Arcane Boots is my favourite for Skywrath, especially if you're doing well, because you can get the mana regen for maybe throwing out an extra thing. Extra ability. It's not a huge amount of mana you get out of it, and Skywrath is pretty mana heavy, but you should be able to. Yep, and that's another one for me. Probably should have left that for the Viper there. He can carry a lot harder than me in the later game. But hey ho, it moves slow. It's quite hard not to kill steal sometimes if you've got a considerable lead. I did pick up the Null Talisman early for the extra damage that I get out of my Arcane Bolt as well, and I'm going to position myself over here. Looking to pick up a kill here, but I think I'm being a bit overzealous here, but I am still going to get the kill. Crystal Maiden is going to pick up the Dazzle, but that is a positive trade, I would say. Getting the Timbersaw in exchange for a Dazzle, that's a pretty good trade, I would say. Possibly should have graved, I don't know. Did he have his grave? He did, I think. But yeah, maybe he didn't have the mana for it, I don't know. I wasn't really looking that much. Yep, Clockwork's still hanging about down here. He's got a pretty damn good experience. He's sitting pretty close to me as well. I'm going to come down here, pop my illusion for the extra mana regen here. And I'm going to see if I can get the Legion Commander here. Setting the illusion first, probably not the best idea, but I'm able to slow him down. I don't think I get this one actually, if memory serves, because Invoker's going to come in as well. Yeah, I decide to back off this one. I see the Forest Spirit, and I know the Invoker is there, so I decide to head off and on to greener pastures, as I say. Dazzle sitting mid here, soaking up a bit of experience while I'm away. That's good. use the experience while you can. Positioning my illusions here to give a little bit of extra vision. Spot out the drow here as well. But I'm more interested in killing him. Sorry about that. Missed that one. Shallow grave, just in case. Maybe a little bit unnecessary, but drow is going to come over here and pick off my illusion, and I just come in from the side and give him a smack. I don't have the mana from ult, but I still should be able to take her out. I've got a considerable advantage. I've even got, not quite got an attack damage advantage, but I do have the arcane bolt hitting for a considerable amount. I did see the Legion Commander here, but I decided to just back out. I didn't have the mana to engage there. Legion Commander currently is my bane. I'm horribly sick of Legion Commander getting ridiculous far. I'm looking forward to people being able to figure out how to deal with Legion Commander. So I'm up on the back in base getting a wee bit of health regen, not using ball because I wanted Staff of Wizardry obviously. That's Timbersaw got his arcane boots there, so that means he should have a bit more sustain in lane. Poet, I didn't know it. Drow sitting just on the Ring of Aquila and Power Treads as well just now. Our farm is not great, so we are kind of relying on ganks at the moment, but it is 1 to 8. Have a look at the gold graphs. It's quite a bit in our favour, but it's not a huge amount. Experience, much the same. We're a bit further ahead. The kills supplying a lot more in that one. I'm coming backside here, see if I can pick someone off, and Clockwork, lovely hook, and there you go. And then straight into the ult. That's like I was saying at the start. Very nice. Probably should have left that for him, but hey, you know, if you're gonna snowball hard. I did say to my team I apologise for taking as many kills as I did, but hey ho, what can you do? Creating plenty of space for the carries as well. Bloodseeker is coming up. These numbers aren't respective of their net worth and things like that. The level of their net worth is more important. I'm sitting top because obviously I've got all the kills. Should be able to pick this off, but no. And I am going to die here, unfortunately. Did manage to pick up a TV scroll just before I died there as well, so it didn't feed quite as much. I did go godlike there, unfortunately. Well, semi-unfortunately. So I fed 1,000 gold to a Timbersaw. That probably helped him quite considerably. It's 1,700 gold at the moment. So he should be able to get a bit of his bloodstone. Probably his perseverance or something like that. I get out. Yep, Viper is throwing a bit of tower pressure on here, but Drow is doing her best to counter push this, just throwing the auto attacks in there. See if you can stop it with the marksman. She's going to push it a lot quicker than the Viper. Now sitting on a lot less damage. Dazzle's still sitting mid, try to get that experience, that's good. Good. Bottom lane got no one on it, but Clockwork is going to go back down there and get the experience and a little bit of farm as well, so that's good. Up the top lane, Viper is going on Drow Ranger. She does not have her ultimate, she's in the range. Throwing a wee bit of damage here. Not going to be able to pick it off, but oh well. Taking a little bit of tower damage. Wasn't watching where I was going. I think I was just a little bit too far forward. I think I'm actually going to go on player's perspective for a little bit here, and I will go on. Go on Skywrath mage so we can see exactly what I was doing. Right, okay, so I'm moving down here into the back in the mid lane here. See if there's anything I can pick off. I did see that the Invoker was there, and I was kind of feeding on him at the time. So just make sure I get in range here. Clockwork coming in for a very, very nice hook. Very well done from there. I'm not even sure if I knew he was there. I just decided to go for it and hope for the best. But the Clockwork secured the kill there for us. Unfortunately, me taking it again, but there's not much I can do about that. Once the spells go flying, there's not much I can do to stop them. Also got a little bit of tunnel vision. It doesn't help the team in the long run, really, but and we are going to move down here. The Radiant do see us because they do have reasonable ward vision on the bottom lane. So Drow is going to back off here, but going through the jungle, I have no idea why they decided to do this, but they did. So that's a lot of damage I'm throwing off here as well. And Drow just cannot fight me, basically. I'm far too fed at the moment, snowballed far too hard. Very little, as you can see, very little last hits, but I am still sitting top of the net worth here as well. It's just from snowballing off kills. Skywrath is very, very good for snowballing kills. bit of a semi-carry really, but you really need to do it early. I sold the staff wizardry, I bought it and sold it there because I decided that a little bit more tank would be more useful. Going back to base here, refill my bottle and get my regen. Dazzle's got his arcane boots as well, that's pretty nice, a little bit of extra mana regen for everyone. I'm just sitting waiting, I think it was maybe alt tabbed at this point. Okay, using my bottle when I get in base, hopefully, use the bottle, good boy, there we go. Using the bottle to get my mana regen up quickly because I do have quite a large mana pool. As you can see here, Skywrath Mage's int gain is pretty huge, 3.6, so you're going to end up with a really big mana pool by the end of it. And this guy, Mystic Flare, uses a huge amount of mana, it's 800. It's never fun when you get a Pugna counter pick as Skywrath Mage. This is a lot of damage. I decided to go in for this one, probably shouldn't have, because the excuse me, the siege group spotted me out there, so they decided to back off. I do see that Clockwork is hanging about at the bottom here. He's going in for the hook shot here. Viper managing to pick up the tower as well. So I'll have a look over here, see what's happening with Clockwork. Clockwork does go down, it's unfortunate. The Invoker gets a kill, Drow doesn't, and the Legion Commander doesn't manage to get the ult kill off, so that's fine actually, it's not too big a deal. Singing 12-4 at the moment. Viper is catching me, as he should, because he's been actively farming, whereas I've been trying to create space, maybe getting greedy to be honest, but you know, it happens. Getting quite close to my Rod of Athos now. As you can see, I'm a little bit more tanky, still pretty squishy. Lack of armor really is a problem. There's not many, apart from the Shiva's Guard, there's really nothing that you can get that would synergize well, I would say, while still keeping up your damage. Shiva's Guard is a good choice, of course. I usually go for Scythe of Ice because later on the utility is far more important, I find. Going for a little bit of a slow here, and that's a lot of damage throwing. There we go. As you can see, the extra damage I'm getting from the Staff of Wizardry and the Null Talisman really paying off here, especially, and also with the level advantage, getting a lot more intelligence to throw out from Arcane Bolt. Looks like they're pushing quite hard on the bottom lane here. We seem to have reasonable vision on them, so that is Timbersaw calling GG on it already. I don't like this because, I mean, they do have a harder carry in the form of the Drow, and I do believe I said that if we don't deal with the Drow quick enough, then we won't be able to do it. Just about out of mana here. I think this is my Rod of Athos coming as well. They shouldn't have stayed about for this one, to be honest. Just throwing that just in case. And unfortunately I fed the courier like an idiot. Fantastic. Yeah, I'm just going to farm these Forward Spirits, get them down so they're not harassing us if we decide to continue engagement. I'm not going to be continuing engagement because I do have quite low mana and everything just now. And the Invoker using his invis here, so yeah, unfortunately I believe I die here. So that's unfortunate. Throwing out a little bit of damage on the Crystal Maiden, managing to get it, but the Viper is going to die as well, and unfortunately feed the dual damage to the Legion Commander. Legion Commander could get very, very scary. Can't remember if they did in this game or not, but I've had games where it's been 200, 300 damage stolen, which has been brutal. Most other carries just can't compete with that, to be honest, which is why she is terrifying. I'm looking forward to people figuring out proper counters to her and such. Not watching the Clockwork, obviously, because I'm probably alt tabbed or something, I don't really know. Or just away from keyboard at the moment. I'm going to respawn now. Let's see how long I wait. There we go. Not too long. Picking up another TP scroll. One thing that you can do with Skywrath Mage is get yourself early boots of travel. It's really useful. The extra gold you spend, it doesn't set you back too far as long as you're doing well. And it is really, really useful for reacting, because you do have that slow, so you can counter engagements pretty well. If it's a 1v1 or something like that, you can jump in and get kills off. Okay, just doing a wee bit of push here, just hoping to push the wave back a wee bit. and see if we can do anything. I think at this point I'm unsure exactly what it is we're intending. I think I was trying to force a team fight because I thought we could do it, but everyone seemed to be splitting up quite a lot. I was quite scared in this game of being out carried because Bloodseeker and the Viper, they're reasonably good, but they're not anywhere on the level of, say, the Drow or the Legion Commander if they get fed. So I was a little bit scared. I wanted to end this game as quickly as possible, but it was not looking promising. A reasonable amount of miscommunication in this game as well, but I think we managed it okay. Looking to push this tower a little bit, throw a little bit of damage on. Is the Invoker coming into, and that is the meatball combo, but not going to be enough, I'm afraid. Nope. I decided to book it as soon as that Chakra comes in, but I did manage to get a wee bit of damage on the Invoker there, scare them out a wee bit. Now I'm going to hide it in the side here. I've still got the regen rune if I need it, but at the moment I think I'm deciding to keep it. I do have a ward up here. I did not know that at the time, so that's unsurprising that they're sitting back a bit. I did hope that they would come forward, but they didn't. And the Crystal Maiden is sitting up there, obviously unaware that we had the ward up there, so we've seen them there. And this looks like a Timbersaw is coming in there as well, so we spot him out as well. So we realise there's going to be an engagement. Reasonable kick TP there, TPing into the back line, so we didn't necessarily see it. That's unfortunate. I accidentally pressed on the wrong one when the illusion came out. Of course you can't see them as blue when you're playing. It would be nice and easy if you could, but you can't. Looks like they're going for a bit of a push in the bottom tower, so there's going to be a bit of reaction coming from the Viper. Should be able to push them back out a bit and get that farm as well. I'm not focusing too much on last hits here. I should, and I know I should, but of course when you're in the heat of the moment you're more thinking about get the kills, get the towers, get the game won. I think from here I move on to a Bloodstone if memory serves. I cannot quite remember exactly what my item build was for this one, so it'll be a surprise to all of us. Coming in here from the side, they should have seen me, to be honest. No, good enough. Right, picking up Legion Commander. That was a bit of a whiff. I think I'm going to pay for it, to be honest. We do get the turnaround here, and Legion Commander is going to feed Viper some damage there. Underestimating the amount of damage you can put out with that one. Going in for the silence there, and now they're slow as well. So I managed to pick it up. Unfortunately, I did manage to pick it up before the Viper. I would prefer the Viper and get the gold. I'm quite happy with what I've got at the moment. I'm sitting on 14-2. I do not carry well in the late game with Skywrath Mage. Too squishy later on when the physical carries start really coming into form. It's far too quick. I mean, 4 or 5 hits from a reasonably fed Dry Ranger and I will go down, and I'm pretty sure I do later on in the game. But this is an example of what you can do with a Skywrath Mage. Maybe went a little bit too hard in this one, but you know, what can you do? It is difficult. I do sometimes feel bad about stealing as many kills, but it's such a slow-moving projectile. Sometimes it does just pick them off, or throwing me out to secure the kill and not realizing that I could have left it and still got it. Maybe play a little more passive. I'm going for a Scythe of Ice first. It's probably to deal with the Legion Commander, because if you get the duel, then I can go for this one. I think I might have actually changed my mind and gone for something else very shortly. Possibly the Bloodstone, I'm not sure. I think I've got a funny feeling that I did actually change my mind for this one. We're going to get this tower as well. We'll see what I do here. Just going to push this down a little bit more. I think we'll actually back off a little bit. Unsure where they are. Obviously we can see them just now on the replay in the bottom lane, but we were unsure where they are. We are seeing them now coming in for the mid lane, so we decided to shift over and see if we can give a little bit of help here. Should be able to loop in it around the back and maybe get a wee pick off here. Viper is sitting reasonably farmed as well. I'll have a look and see what his farm is. Yeah, so he's just got his Yasha phase, so he's sitting roughly equal to me at the moment, but his is purely farm based rather than kills. He would be sitting much more high than me if I had not fed and not stolen all the kills, but it happens. And that looks like a bit of a duel. And Bloodseeker goes down. It's unfortunate for him. The duel, even as just a flat out disable, is pretty good. I mean, what's the duration on this one? I mean, it goes up to 5.5 seconds. There's not even any stuns really that give that much. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to pick up my Mystic Staff. It seems I'm going for the... I'm going to go for the Scythe of Ice here. Get that disable. I don't think I used it very effectively, if memory serves. Can't remember using it a great deal. But if for nothing else than just the stats that you get out of it is a very, very nice item. It's nice to have the option. I'm still learning intelligence carries, really. Quite enjoying plays with things like Zeus and things like and Skywrath, like intelligence, big nukey mids. I'm going to try and get the tower, and actually lose the deny and feed kills. That was a terrible decision from me. Just getting a little bit too greedy on trying to get that tower, but I don't have the right click damage to deal with it. I should have just backed off as soon as I've seen how many there were, so it's pretty much a guaranteed death for me there. So, yep, and they are going to chase, but it looks like the Clockwork is going to get away as well. This is quite nice. Quite a nice turnaround from the Bloodseeker, managing to get that Bloodbath health there as well. Clockwork is not going to escape here. Invoker manages to pick up the kill. It's unfortunate for him, but we did manage to get the Legion Commander at least. You know, a bit of a consolation prize in that engagement, I guess.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Bottom tower creeps are pushed right up to that one as well. Looks like there's a siege creep there as well, based on the minimap. I think, but they are pushing the mid tower here as well. I think they're going to get it. Yep, they are. So sell this, grab a couple of TP scrolls, and get back into the fight. And they do manage to pick off the tower as well. It's unfortunate. Not able to get the deny in time. By this stage in the game, you've got enough mana and regen that you can use your Arcane Bolt to CS with, because it's only 70 mana and you've got, well, I've almost got 2,000 mana pool at the moment, so that's rather good. And obviously, the more intelligence you get, you can just one-hit creeps later on in the game. Always find it difficult figuring out exactly how much damage I put out with Arcane Bolts, but I just kind of guesstimate that it'll kill or not, as the case sometimes is. Okay, we're hanging about here. We do not know where they are at the moment. If we don't have any ward vision in their jungle, probably could have done with getting a ward in there or something like that, and hopefully getting that. And that is going to be a DD on the Invoker. We may have known. Yeah, I think we did know this. So we're going to go in here anyway and see if we can get a pick off. We're fairly confident in the team fight just now. We throw out a lot of damage, especially if they're on the run. That is unfortunate for the Bloodseeker throwing in the Rupture on the... Taking a lot more damage there than I thought, but the Clockwork does manage to pick it off. Clockwork played incredibly well this game, actually, I have to say. Some very, very nice hooks. He's fairly tanky at the moment. Forge Spirits are taking him for a reasonable amount here as well. So, I'm just checking the items of the Legion Commander here. Legion Commander is sitting on 48 plus damage, sitting on the armlet and the BKB, so that is not good. My plan was, when I seen the Legion pick, that I'd be able to pick her off, but with the BKB I'm not going to be able to do that, because the odd won't be able to do that. Looks like we are going to feed the Dazzles, and oh, not quite. Legion Commander managed to get that last hit there. It's unfortunate. And that's a bad engagement for us, but looks like Viper is going to come back with this one and get the Timber Saw. He was just about to get the Timber Chains off, but he wouldn't have gone very far anyway. With the Bloodseeker, actually, it's very useful in this game, because we're able to see into the fog when we're chasing. Very useful for me to be able to not be disjointed when I'm trying to cast Arcane Bolt. As you see, I'm using it for CS there as well. Quite useful to do. Really ups your GPM quite considerably. Just throwing one auto attack or something like that's usually enough, unless it's a range creep. So yeah, just gonna try and strike it lucky on the siege creep there, and I did get lucky. Just doing a wee bit of a push here. I felt fairly safe because I knew that they were quite a lot of them are bottom, and they'd be recouping after the last team fight, so feeling reasonably safe. Deciding to back off now because they are missing. Picking up another TP scroll, just making sure that I've got a constant supply of TPs because you need to be able to react quickly with Skywrath, be able to counter push effectively. Just doing a little bit of jungling here. You can jungle reasonably well. I mean, you take quite a reasonable amount of damage for it, but you can do it pretty quickly. I'm hitting for 152 damage a hit. Not much attack speed, obviously, because agility gain is fairly weak. 0.8. That's very weak for agility. But as you can see, I've still only got 2 armor. So yeah, I'm just gonna float about the jungle just now. Maybe shift over a mid and see if we can do something. The Dazzle's sitting there as well. Looks they're just running about the jungle. They're not pushing concertedly. See, as you can see from the net worth here, I am falling behind a bit. Once it starts getting 5-mans and things like that, I start getting more assists than kills, and it starts falling behind, and you're not as effective a farmer. So, as I said, me getting the kills early, it sort of helps, but sort of doesn't at the same time. It's much more useful for the for our carries to get it. And if we have a look at not net worth, I'm talking about KDA. So I'm sitting 15-4. The Viper's sitting 7-2. That's very nice for him. The Timbersaul's sitting 6-4. Starting getting, you know, the negatives now. Bloodseeker not doing very well, to be honest. He's had a pretty harsh game. But what can you do? Drow having a pretty terrible game, sitting on 0-7. I was fairly up for just harassing her because I did not want this game to go late and have a really farmed Drow coming at me, because that is pretty much the best way to counter Skywrath. Just destroy him, hit him with as much damage as you possibly can early in the team fight, so that you can't continue to do a bit of kiting throughout the damage with the arcane bolt and melt and things like that. Silence is often overlooked on Skywrath. He's actually a fairly good counter to Storm Spirit, because he doesn't have that much mobility without his ultimate. So you just throw an ability, break the Lincolns if he's got a Lincolns, and then silence him. There's nothing he can do. He can wander quite slowly around in your ultimate, and you kill him quite quickly because he's usually not that tanky. I'm hanging about here just to see if I can get maybe a wee initiation. I said do a ward there, but I've changed the player perspective, so it's not the same. Now it looks like we are trying to push the bottom here. They have all reacted, so probably could have done one as a counter pusher, but our team fight abilities aren't great besides the clockwork, and I mean, we've got the weave on the dazzle and things like that, but really we are just right clickers, really, just single targets. So we can probably pick someone off here. I apologise. Yes, Drow coming in with the Shadow Blades. I think we dropped Sentry, did we? No, we didn't. Decided not to drop a Sentry. But able to pick off the Invoker, but that is a lot of damage. Even Drow, with as bad a game as she's having, is able to throw out a lot of damage on me. Clockwork is coming in with insult, but you know, that is the Shallow Grave. You're not going to kill him with the Shallow Grave. Shallow Grave lasts longer. Timbersaw managing to pick up a kill there as well, and we are going to go for an escape here, I think. Legion Commander coming for a buyback, see if they can support down there, and I think we decided to back off as soon as you see that. Bloodseeker without the low heroes able to move pretty damn quickly. Legion Commander taking farm, but not getting any gold for it, obviously, because you just bought back. Oh. Right, I think we'll just skip forward a bit here until something interesting happens. Farm. Right, okay. Come back and coming down the bot lane here. See, I was expecting a push down here. I wanted to be a little bit safe, so I was hanging about in there. You can still fire off, you can cuss a shot from there, and it usually sometimes scare them off a little bit. Still not a great deal happening, so I will speed it up a bit. Very late, and looks like there's going to be a little bit of an engagement here. A bit of a waste of a dust there, but we weren't sure where the Drow Ranger was, so better safe than sorry. And then throwing this down, and then I think we catch the Drow Ranger out here, because she doesn't think we've got a sentry. Or do we? Unsure, just have a bit of posturing around the Roche, but should be able to deal with it. Viper losing the scouting out there, but they can't see us because they do have that ward there. I think we do spot this out shortly and kill it, or at least attempt to. But yeah, so yeah, shifting back to the middle lane, see if we can push it out a little bit. At this point in the game, I was really pushing to force team fights, because the longer this game goes, the more farm that Drow is going to get, and the worse it's going to be, especially for me and Dazzle and things like that. It'll be much easier for it to pick up that. Yep. We concussive shot here, a little bit overzealous, so I decided to back off. I do see the illusion rune there, but I think I decided to leave it for whatever reason. I think I was looking at other things to see. Bloodseeker taking a fair amount of damage there. Hopefully we can see what Bloodseeker's doing with his just going for the boring old Sanj and Yasha build, the spam movement build. Right, go back to net worth and you'll see that I am dropping even further behind. The Viper is doing really well in catching up with the farm here. But the Invoker, the Drow is still fairly far down, because obviously it's coming from a considerable deficit, but still a lot of damage with the marksman. It's in reasonable range. Drow managed to backdoor the Roshan here. I was not happy about this and decided to go for it, but I think we decided to just back off, because obviously she's got the Shadow Blade, so she's going to be able to escape fairly easily. I don't know why Bloodseeker decided to go in here. Why am I on Bloodseeker's perspective? It should be on mine, because it's mine. Right, okay, we did see the ward there, a bit late, but, you know, managing to get a wee cheeky 50 gold out of that one. Huge difference, obviously. But as you can see, I've been sitting trying to get South of Ice for a considerable amount of time. Not really been getting anywhere close to it. I should be farming jungle or doing something useful, but instead I am floating about the mid lane in case there's an engagement. I think it's a little bit more important for the carries in our team, like the Viper, of course, to get that farm. I didn't know there was DD rune there. That would have been quite nice to maybe get on the Viper, but of course we did not know. Going up to the top here, just maybe push this out a little bit, create a little bit more pressure on them, and of course get that little bit of extra farm. Not able to get there in time, but get a little bit of extra gold there. That's not too bad. I'm going to go for the orb next, the ultimate orb, just for that little bit of extra HP and intelligence, because that will be much more useful than mana regen. Because at this stage in the game I don't really need to worry about mana regen. Not feeling very safe here, so I decided to TP out. I think that was definitely the best move, because it looked like they were coming to collapse on me there. Ward spotting them out here, so it looks like they're going to have favourable vision in this engagement and know exactly what's going to be going on. Just checking Dazzle items, see what support items he's got here. And using a smoke. Unfortunately, right on top of, and I don't know why I did this, I was microing the courier for some bloody reason. And I don't know why this happened, but it was not good. Oh, will he get the jewel off? Will he get the jewel off? That was the question. I think he does. But he pays for his insolence. Excellent hook here from the Clockwork. Bango. Of course, I was more impressed with it when I thought it was a blind hook, but then I remembered, of course, we've got the Bloodseeker, who will be showing him up on the map. Let's see what Viper's dealing with here. So he's got his butterfly, so that'll give him a little bit more evasion against the Drow and things like that. There's some big hits that he's potentially evading. That's good. Obviously they can see us here, so he's going to achieve little here. I was actually stacked with Formbagger. I met him in a game previous to this, and we seemed to get on pretty well. So we decided to group up. Or was it this one? Or was it the next one? I can't remember. Yes, anyway. Formbagger is a nice guy. Right. He's not Jack. I'm going to slow down the creep wave here. Don't want to push him too far. Looks like we probably should be pushing top. I was trying to push for going top here. Or bottom. I think bottom was the more sensible choice, and I agreed. So we're going down. Haster in there, but no one's seen it yet. Ward vision's dropping off. It looks like Dazzle is forgetting a little bit. I do it much more than that. Dazzle's actually been okay with keeping ward vision up and things like that for most of the game, so can't hold it against him. He is the only support. I think I first picked Skywrath because I fancied playing him, and then obviously all the carries came out. But it's a reasonably good draft, I would have to say as well. Fairly good ganky draft. I don't think I knew that the Invoker was there, but so I'm gonna have a look anyway. We should be able to push the tower off of this one. Should be reasonably safe in doing so. Getting hit with a weave. I have no idea why, but I think that I thought this was a negative weave here. I thought it was Dazzle was on the enemy team for some strange reason, because sometimes I just forget things. Coming in with the pressy attack there for a little bit of extra damage. Not much happened there for me, though, so it's not too much of a problem. Throwing a bit of extra damage on the tower here while I can. Force out the glyph as well, so that's not too bad. Hopefully we should be able to get this. We are staying a little bit too long here. I think probably we could have... It's like, if I'd had my boots travel, I would have been up pushing the top lane here, but I decided not to do that. I'm going for the ultimate orb and the Scythe of Ice. Very delayed Scythe of Ice, to be honest. I don't know why. I had so little farm, I just wasn't really up for this. It took me a little while to react to this one, but I'm going to throw my ult down here, I think. No, I'm not. I'm going to save it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Good dude's bottom just fell off. Bad dude's middle tower.
Will we get the Invoker here? That is the question. Oh.
Is about to get knocked over.
Very, very nice. Bloodseeker managing to get it. Using the hook just in case as well. And that is Timber not happy wanting to finish the game. He was saying that early on, but they did have a pretty good effect. They were giving us a bit of a run for our money. Invoker just hanging about. I don't know why. I think he's just gonna. He's hanging a bit too long here. He should be back in base, to be honest. Not achieving very much. There's not much between him and Crystal Maiden that can do to slow this down. So we managed to get the racks at the bottom there, and there we go. As I said, I picked that one off. I was not wanting him to be able to, maybe, I don't know, if he had a 4-staff or something like that, managed to 4-staff out and escape, so I had to throw the ultimate. The cooldown of the ultimate is very, very short at this stage in the game. I'm not a big fan of the Aghanims. I've tried it once or twice, and I just find it's too mana heavy. And if you're throwing out all the time, then you don't have enough mana to fire arcane bolts and things like that. And you can sometimes do a lot more reliable damage with the arcane bolts than you can with your Mystic Flare, because it's reasonably easy to get out with them, especially if it's in quite tight team fights. So, because the damage is split, of course, so ends up doing very negligible damage. Finally managed to pick up my Scythe of Ice, and screw it, I was just going to go for the Aghanims, just because the game seemed to be over and I wanted to queue up something. Yep, there's an Invis rune on top, but I'm not interested in that. The bottle is less useful now, but hey-oh, might as well keep it if it's in the inventory, might save my life. It looked like Dire actually had very good ward vision for this, for the majority of this. Seemed to encounter quite a few of them. Of course, we didn't know about any of them, because that's why wards are invisible. Yep, coming up here, see if I can get this wave pushed out a little bit, because the top is their strongest at the moment, because they've got still got their tier 2 sitting there. So get that one in, and if we force them to be top, then our creep wave will push bottom. So they'll have to, it'll either be a 4v5, or they'll maybe lose towers or something like that on the bottom. it's nice to do this. If we just went on mid like is common, then you know, there's a chance we could have much easier for them to react, much shorter distances for them to travel to defend against the mega creeps. And deciding to throw, take out the turret here. They're not up for taking us out here. Not up for engaging. Decide to give that a whap. Oh, that was close. And I'm going to die again. Where am I? Oh, he did. Managed to get a lucky counter attack there. But yeah, Dazzle did well to try and keep me alive there. But unfortunately, no. So I decided to just buy back here because I didn't think the game is going to last much longer. So I decided to just go back down and see if I can push this mid lane. The mid lane looked quite pushed, and we were probably going to get the top tower with no real issue. Clockwork coming in with another excellent Gogs. He is taking a little bit of damage from that chakram, but not a huge amount, to be honest. Trying to see what my range is for the concussive shocks. Might be able to either help or hinder our team or their team, either or. I decided to just man up and take the tower hits here, but Clockwork takes them instead. So that's fine. As you can see, not used Scythe of Ice yet, because, I don't know, I'm an idiot, basically. I should be using the Scythe of Ice on the Legion Commander as soon as I see, and then just try and get him down as soon as physically possible. That's probably where my silence should go as well. There's no one else really that's that dangerous, but the duel is a huge danger, especially for someone as squishy as me. That's some gem as well. And yep, using that combo again, but Clockwork manages to take that one. I didn't steal that one, much to my dismay. But yes, we are just going to push this. We're just going to GG push this. We're not going to bother with tower diving or anything like that, because that is lame play in my opinion. I'm just going to go straight for the tower because it's just a waste of everyone's time to go tower diving. I mean, if they're going to engage, then by all means I'm gonna defend ourselves, but we're not gonna do too much. And yeah, so that's game. I think I did pretty well that game. I probably could have given a few more kills to the carries, which is unfortunate, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. Ended up working out in the end. We really managed to deal with the drow pretty well, so it was good. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time.